All right, all right, all right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Let's See Where This Goes From Here. I am your host, Miguel V, with my co-host, Missy. We're going to be trying to give you some insights, hilarity, stories, and just us being us. But with that, let me throw you over to Missy so she can give you a little bit about herself. Missy?
Hi, welcome everyone. We hope you enjoy our little combos that we have that we're putting into a podcast. I'm Missy, so I'm at home at my place. I'm a runner like Miguel. That's how we met. He was my pace leader at Dallas Running Club, and we just got along really well. And we let you in on what we talk about.
That's really what it is. I mean, we're runners. So I'm going to tell you right now, I am a non-elite runner who will
Same.
give you very interesting insights to the running world. But we're also not just going to be all about running. Basically our podcast is going to be kind of what we do when we run, and we do talk and commiserate and complain, and then we digress into other topics of interest and conversation. So it's fun, and we've met a lot of cool people over the years doing it, and we've had a lot of cool conversations, and I think we've learned a lot about ourselves, but we've also learned a lot about the world, to some extent, just personalities, interests, and we want to share that, and we want to have this is going to be a very pedestrian, every person's kind of podcast. This is not going to be the epitome of professional, but we're hoping it will be entertaining, and we're hoping that you will tune in to hear what we have to say. And we do want to hear your insights and your questions and your stories as well. So please feel free to leave comments, questions. We want it all.
Hey, let them know where they can send those.
Yes, so we do have an email address. It is let's see where this goes from here @gmail.com. We'll also post it in the comments down below, but please make sure that you shoot us. You can leave us a comment down below, but you can also send us emails. This is only going to be as interesting as the people that we get to talk to as well. And that's what I love to do. That's one of my main things I love about running, is getting to meet people and talk to them and have a good time. But speaking of running, it is Metal Monday.
Metal Monday. Hold on. Let me get mine. Do you have yours with you?
I got mine.
Okay. Hold on.
There it is. Cowtown 2024 half marathon, baby. That's right. Right.
So we just ran this baby yesterday. We did the half marathon along with some of our other runners, Pam, Erlyn, Mel, and
you and I.
And you? That's it, Pam.
That was it. Well, that's for our main group, but I mean, obviously, there's the Cowtown is a very big local race here in North Texas, so we run into a lot of our other running friends that maybe aren't necessarily part of our main group, but we've run tons and tons of miles with. So I got to see Alicia and Zoe Reed. I got to see Rachel was there from Soul Sisters. Mel ran into her.
Yeah.
And then obviously Mimi and Jana were cheering people on, and after the hill at mile 9, from my understanding, they were down there.
Did you see them?
I did not see them, but I was also really tired by the time I got up that damn hill.
Yeah.
But it was it's good. I mean, it's one of those things that, again, we've been running in the area for a while, so we do get to see a lot of people that we meet while running at these races, and that's always fun, just to see the culmination of all the training, all the road work, and then come race day. To me, that's the party day, right? People get so nervous about the marathon, but if you've made it to the marathon, you're going to be great.
Okay, well, hold on though. We did a half marathon, which is way different than a marathon. A marathon has a whole different type of energy, because usually it's not like a party like the half. Like when we see each other, we get hyped in the corrals, but then it's like, ugh, we got to do 26.2 miles. So we did a half marathon, and it was a party. And Fort Worth, Cowtown did amazing as always. They did an amazing job organizing. The weather was beautiful. It was warm for a race, especially probably for marathon and ultra marathon. But we've been running in some crap weather lately, so we've enjoyed yesterday's beautiful, beautiful temperatures. And
these last few summers have been brutal as far as training, and because you train in the summer because you're supposed to be doing fall races, but these fall races have been hot too, man.
Real quick, people, I am so sorry. I said I was not going to eat on this podcast, but apparently my schedule it happened, so I'm going to be eating You won't see it, but you're going to see my mouth. I'm sorry, but carry on.
No worries. Yeah, so we did the Cowtown yesterday. So the Cowtown for me was also a special race because 10 years ago, I did my first official road race, and it was the Cowtown, and I did the Cowtown half. And 10 years later, I ran it for the 7th time yesterday. And first things first, that hill at like mile 8 to like mile 9.5 or mile 10 has not gotten any easier. I just want to be clear about that.
But I'm going to say it has, just because I don't know when you're running it, but if they had it, so mile, I think it's mile 9. We go up to the hill till we get to like, or it might be mile 8 to 9.
Yeah.
They do this memorial for all fallen soldiers, right? And so at the whole, I don't know, how do you think it is? Like, I think it's like a quarter mile.
Yeah, it's at least a quarter mile long. Yeah, for sure.
Of an uphill, and there's pictures just back to back to back to back of soldiers, and they saw if they're killed in action or missing in action or whatever, and their ages. And so that and I'm going to be honest, I tried not to read them too much yesterday because it really gets me. But that gets my mind off that hill a lot. And then I believe there are JROTC people out there at everyone. And then at the end, there's some family members I've heard, but some people, and then they're holding all like the flags, and they cheer you on. They're like, go, you got this, da da da. And then you're reading these things about these 19 and 20 and 27 and year olds. And so that gets my mind off the hill a little bit.
You know, that actually is a good point.
Make it as bad.
That was a good point. Yes, they are JROTC kids, and their instructors were there, and that was awesome. There's also a pretty good turnout. I'm going to jump back to it, but there was a good turnout of Boy Scouts that were there at water stops and things like that. So that was pretty cool.
I did see water stops, yeah.
But they did have that. That is relatively new. That was not there back in 2014. So you are correct. And that is, it was sombering, but it was distracting. I did read some of those signs, and you're right. Some of them, the age ranges were very young to not really that old. I mean, I'm older than most of the people that, if not all the people that were on those signs.
I think the oldest is like 42 or 43.
Yeah. And it's sad, but, you know, again, much respect to our service people out there who do go out there and protect our interests and our freedoms and, you know, what we believe are our American ideals in other countries. And, you know, they are putting their lives on the line. And so, you know, a big shout out to our service people, a big shout out to our service people's families who have to worry about their loved ones while they're out there. We do have a lot of respect for that. I know your son.
I was gonna say this is my son. This is his but he's a former Marine. But he was one of those, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was never in the armed forces, but I was in JROTC in high school, and I gained a lot of good stuff from that. And I have a lot of friends that did serve, so I do have a lot of respect for everybody who's in our armed forces. That's it's important, you know. Political beliefs aside, and what everybody wants to think, these are just regular kids and folks.
Not about political beliefs. We're just talking.
Well, I'm just saying because some people have their beliefs, but all that stuff aside, these are good kids that are just trying to do something, and you know. I've lost friends over the years who've been in the military, and so, you know, I have a lot of respect for it. But it's a great race. Getting back to the Cowtown, it was a great race. They do a great job running it. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've done it 7 out of 10 years, and I did put a post on my Facebook about it because, again, it was like a good, just like pensive reminiscing of like all these 10 years. And I kind of said in the post, you know, between 2014 and 2024, there's been a lot of miles, a lot of memories, and, you know, a lot of good friendships, and present company included. I contribute a lot of that good stuff to running. And, you know, and I said what I said in my post. Sometimes you just need to go out and run a few miles with a few thousand people, and you really appreciate how fortunate you really are. And I do. I am grateful for all of my experiences that I've had over the last 10 years of this running journey that I've been on. But it was awesome. Well, because you don't do the Facebook.
Did you do it to Instagram?
You know, I thought I did, but for some reason it kicks off every once in a while. Because I thought I set it up where I'll post. If I post on Facebook, it'll go to Instagram. If I post on Instagram, it'll go to Facebook, which makes everything very simple. But I do not believe it posted to Instagram, if you want the truth. Yeah. So I guess I'll have to check my technology and see what the hell is going on with that. But Yeah. So that's about all the running I have scheduled for the year. I mean, we did Miami in January about 4 weeks ago at this point, and Miami trip was awesome. I think we had a great time.
Awesome. Miami famous. We did the half marathon there again. That was great. Well, Miami was just great in itself. We had an amazing trip, like a great freaking trip. But the run was great too. Miami, if you want to go party after a race, that's the place to be. They were great. They had a lot of crowd support out there.
They did. I was surprised because it was early. I mean, we started at 6:00.
Yeah.
I mean, the first corrals started at 6:00. It was a 6 a.m. race, and there were people out there.
Marathon too. So.
Yeah. And it's funny because both those halves, both the Miami half and the Cowtown, they had a lot of turnout. I mean, you're talking about well over 12 to 15,000 people. I think Miami had close to like 17,000 people running the half and the full, both races. And so it's a nice size run crowd. It's amazing spectator support throughout the entire the course. It was hot though. Miami was hot. It was humid, but I didn't care. I was just having so much fun. There was so much good energy on the course. They did it as hot as it was, much like the Cowtown did yesterday. They had good water stops. I never felt like I was running out of water or I couldn't find something. Like they pretty much had them every mile, so that was appreciated. And just crowd support, man. You can't if you've never spectated a race, you should go out because you'll be surprised how many runners will be appreciative of you saying great job. I mean, I know it sounds stupid and it doesn't sound like much, but when you're in a hard run or you're in a hard part of a run and there's people, we were talking about the Cowtown and that mile, 9 to almost 10 hill, there's so many people on that hill. So it does make the hill a lot more conquerable and not such a beatdown because if I had to run that hill with nobody, just quiet,
Well, I've done that. So it was just last year I think was the first year that I noticed that they did it and before not. So before then, before they had the JRT or JROTC people out there, that hill was a struggle. You're just like, oh my God, when will it end?
I know.
When will it end?
Do you remember when Dallas? Oh no, you never ran it. So when Dallas had originally changed, so I ran my first Dallas Marathon in 2014, and then in 2017 they changed the course to put it back onto the lake, and you had to go up Winstead. And well, I will tell you when they made it that one change, my biggest knock about the Dallas Marathon is something that the Cowtown does very well. By the way, the Cowtown does a great job in promoting their race. Right? How many times did you see on the news or hear on the news this week where they were talking about the Cowtown in Fort Worth? And that gets people to come out there. They even talked about it last night on the news saying, thousands of runners went out there and they said that thank God nobody got hurt. There was nobody that couldn't finish the race that wanted to finish it. Right. So they even gave a news report about that. And it's crickets almost when BMW Dallas does their marathon in December, you just don't get that. And it seems like that's how you get the people to come out there. But getting back to when they changed that course in 2017, they did do a pretty good job through social media of advertising and getting people to come out for that race. So there was a lot more spectator support, even on the lake back in 2017. They've since stopped that, and you're kind of seeing the result that you're getting less spectators to come out. You're getting less interest. And again, I mean, all the biggest races, anybody who runs them, if you run Chicago, if you run Boston, if you run New York, everybody tells you how awesome the crowds are and it keeps pushing you forward, right? I mean, and that's really what it was. So it's a big deal to have spectator support. And I think if you want to be a good race, be in an area where people are going to show up or do a great job in promoting it so that people show up. But I love the Cowtown.
That is great spectator support. One of the times I've noticed when I was in Berlin running the Berlin Marathon, right? I'm an American running in Berlin. I did have my name on my bib at like mile 20 or something. You're just like pudging along, and it rained 23 out of 26 miles of that race, right? So it was just, you're slugging. And I heard someone say, "Go Missy." And I'm like, what? Because I only knew two people who were there that were running it with me, but we were running at different paces. And so when I seen that just like woke me up and like helped me out so much. So it does matter.
It did, okay.
We forgot about hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. In between, in between Miami, the half marathon, and the Cowtown half marathon, we did run the hot chocolate. Mm-hmm. We did a 5K with that one, and really the group did that to accommodate me more than anything. It was raining, but they could have run in the rain. And
we didn't want to run in the rain, not to accommodate you. I'm so sorry.
Because I wasn't going to move up though, because I was actually running with my son, and my son can't do anything more than a 5K right now. So I said I'm not running more than a 5K, and then the group kind of went down. So I was grateful because it's always fun. It's always fun to run with the group.
It is fun, and hot chocolate. I love that race.
You just love the chocolate.
I love the chocolate. The chocolate is the best chocolate. I swear. They give you that hot chocolate, which is so good. They give you that dippable chocolate, and then give you all this stuff to dip it in. That is when I run that race for. I love hot chocolate. I love it. And that's my first time though running the 5K, because normally we do 15K, and we always sign up for the 15K. But it was raining that day, and we're all just like, let's just do the 5K. So the 5K was fun though. That was my first time did it. I was really happy with my time for it too. So
because it's effortless. I don't want to sound like a running snob, because again, I am a non-elite runner. I'm like slower than the slow people. And so, but like, like you said earlier in this conversation, like a half marathon is like a fun run at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like a 5K, I'm just kind of getting warmed up by the time I'm coming in. Like I haven't 3.1 miles. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran that on a partially broken foot, and I felt fine.
Lord Jesus.
I know.
All right, go ahead. Tell them.
I can't even tell you how I broke my foot. I just know that I did.
Not only the foot.
I also was running with a broken arm, but I do know how I broke the arm. I broke the arm carrying out my TV, and my dogs ran out behind me, and I got tripped up, and I was either going to step on the dog or take a fall, and I wasn't going to hurt my dog, so I took the fall, landed on my forearm, and I re-broke an arm that I broke like 14 years ago. And so that's annoying. But that was actually the worst part of my run yesterday, right? It was, because I just the swinging motion of the arm is very painful for me after so many repetitions of it. And the repetitiveness of the motion starts to hurt my arm. But then I was with Mel, actually. It was around mile 4, and I was actually running with Mel at that point. And somebody, it's just crowded. It wasn't done on purpose. It wasn't just runners jostling in and out. And she kind of slammed into my arm kind of hard. She lost her balance, I think.
Not Mel,
Mel, like another runner. And she just hit that arm. And it hurt in the moment. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, don't even worry about it. I wasn't mad. I'm still not mad at her. Just it happened. When you run a race, you sometimes, bang into people every once in a while. But man, I could not feel my fingers by like mile 6. That was really annoying. So it is feeling better today.
Are you wearing your sling today?
I did wear my sling, but I took a shower before this podcast, so I did not have it on right now because I was still moist. I don't want to wear it while being moist.
Okay.
But I did wear it because it did hurt. But yeah.
He really should be in a wheelchair, but he runs half marathons and races.
I'll just enter the wheelchair division. But it was a great race. I love it. I love the Cowtown. Always a good time. I will obviously do it again in the future because I just always have a great time with it, and I don't see any reason for me not to do it. So,
and they kind of get you in because they do these series of medals. So like the one we got, it all fits into a 4 thing of a puzzle piece thing. And so, yeah. But also the after party thing, they give you the best stuff all
ice
the time.
Ice cream and hot and like soup. Although the soup, I still drank that soup because I always look forward to it, but it was hot. But the soup is usually good. In the 10 years I've run the Cowtown, I've gotten all the seasons, right? I've literally like yesterday we'll say it was like a spring-like day, right? My first Cowtown I ran was hot. It was hotter than yesterday.
Oh, really?
It was just hot. Yeah, it was. I mean, I wore a short sleeve t-shirt.
Cowtown for me, yeah.
No, but I've also run the Cowtown, and I think it was in 2015 when I ran that next Cowtown, and we had an ice storm that Thursday, and it was cold as hell. It snowed on us at one point. They shut down they didn't do any of the Saturday races that year because they just couldn't get the courses cleaned in time, and they shut down every Sunday race with the exception of the half. So no ultra marathon, no full marathon. Just the half, and it was cold. I never got warm in that entire race. I think it was like 14 degrees the entire time. At one point, that last bridge and they changed the course, but now you're going straight. But that last bridge, as you're going straight to the finish line at this point, we were on that bridge coming back. So it was probably just before mile 12 from yesterday's course. On that bridge, it was actually snowing on us as we were coming towards the finish line. And I was sweating, and the sweat was just turning to ice on my hoodie. It was just cold. It was a cold day. But I've hit all the seasons while running the Cowtown at some point or another. But I still keep coming back. I love that race.
Yeah.
But now
so I'm going to show them some of the great medals that Cowtown does. Like, this is one of my favorites. It's this big cowboy hat, but it has a bell in it. And then, the boot. The boot is also one of my favorites.
Those are challenge medals, though, right?
What?
Are those challenge medals?
No, these aren't challenge medals. The challenge medal is where's I can't remember. No, I stopped doing the. This was a challenge medal. See,
okay.
Challenge medals aren't much of it.
Very pedestrian.
Yeah. It's just but those other ones are great.
And so, just to kind of expand on what Missy was saying, so what the Cowtown does is every few years they do a series, and that gets you locked in for like anywhere from 3 to 5 years, right? So when I first ran my Cowtown in 2014, they had just finished. It was a new series starting that year, and it was the belt buckles. And so they did a.
Oh yeah, I wonder if I don't have any.
And so I got all 3 of the belt buckles for that year, and then they did another one where it was basically like triangles, and you put the triangles together.
Yeah, I remember the triangle one. That wasn't my favorite, but I had those.
So, Jose is my original like run mentor. He's the guy who kind of got me into this mess and got me signed up with the Dallas Running Club. So shout out to my boy Jose. I love him to death. But he ran it was a 5-year series, right? And the medals formed a star, like a Texas star. And then they gave you like a plaque that you could put it on. And that's what really sold me. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And now they have it this year. I think it's year 3 or 4 where it's puzzle pieces and each puzzle piece is like a picture of a landmark of Fort Worth. So it's they really lock you in. Like you get vested. You're like, oh my God, I got to get all these pieces.
Yeah. Cause I missed 1 year I missed the first year of the puzzle piece. So now, but luckily what they do too, which is really cool about Cowtown, is they do these blasts from the past. So you'll get emails and you can do a virtual run of these races, and they will send you a medal of the one you want that you're missing. So like I'll have to do that for the first puzzle piece. To get
they do a great job. They do such a good job with it. I will run them as long as my legs let me run, I suppose, if I have nothing cooking.
And then I'm gonna say one of my favorite things what I learned about that run is that they do called a CALF program, and forgive me because I do not know what CALF means for them, but where they have the children in Fort Worth ISD run, and they give them each a brand new pair of running shoes, and so you'll have 10,000 kids doing the kid races, and that is the coolest thing for me because I've never seen that many kids do a run, and I just love it that they get the whole community involved because their teachers run, sometimes their family members run with them. It's pretty cool.
It is, and so we used to run, I want to say like 2018. There was a guy, Corey, I can't remember his last name, but I'm friends with him on Facebook. I could look it up. But he runs a crap ton of marathons, but he was very intertwined with the Cowtown people. Like he knew a lot of people that run the Cowtown organization. And, he brought up a very interesting fact that I wasn't aware of. So a lot of times on a big, like the Miami Marathon or the New York City Marathon or the Dallas Marathon or Boston, any of these marathons, they're organized by professional organizers. They pay a company to come in to help them get their expos set up, help publicize them, do whatever they need to do, but they hire professional organizer companies to come and help them. So from my understanding, from what Corey was saying at the time, is that the Cowtown does not do that. It's 100% volunteer organized, put together, and ran. And to have the core support that they did, especially on a day like yesterday, it was warm. And they did issue a heat advisory for us Saturday saying, hey, it's going to be a bit warmer. And they gave us kind of the breakdown of what the temperatures would be by the hour. They had water stops just about every mile, and that was awesome. And that's needed as a runner because it gets hot and you want to drink. Their expo it's decent. I mean, expos have kind of taken a slide across the board, but their expo is decent, and it's all run by volunteers. The organization, the Cowtown running organization that does a great job, but they have their runners come in to help them put this together, and that's awesome. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. And like you said, that calf program, those Saturday races, and that's where the kids run. The kids usually run on the Saturday, like the fun run 5K or the fun run mile, and they do a 10K race on Saturday also. And Missy's right to go there, because you kind of go there to pick up your packet, so you're kind of in this mob of chaos of runners, and it's amazing to see literally thousands of kids out there running, and some of them, this is their first introduction to running. And it's done in a very positive way. So again, big shout out to the Cowtown organization. Big shout out to Fort Worth. I don't necessarily like Fort Worth that much, but they do a great job on Cowtown Sunday.
I Fort Worth, when I get there, I love it because they so embrace the cowboy, the Wild West.
Yeah.
So I usually stay at a hotel the night before because I'm not like Miguel. I want to get up at 3 a.m. to drive into Fort Worth on a Sunday. So, in all the hotels that they have, all the people are wearing Cowtown volunteer shirts. So like the front desk people, the valet people, everybody's wearing a Cowtown shirt. And then in on all of these hotels, they have these fabulous images or murals or whatever of like the Longhorns, the Cowboys, the horses, and it just really makes you feel like you're, I don't know, in the West, or I don't know, in that kind of time. And then I love it. So like I took these pictures like every time I go into these hotels, because usually they're different ones that I stay at, and I love it. I just love all the artwork. And so like our headboards for the bed in our room, they were like this like it looked like like how saddles are that color with some of those wiggle designs or whatever.
Okay.
Like a saddle that was like the fabric or whatever of the headboard.
Wow. Okay, so it was like an embroidered headboard kind of.
Yes, but
Okay.
like it looked like the saddle material, and it was just that's what I love about Fort Worth. They totally stay true.
They do. They embrace that Western, like cowboy mentality.
Yeah.
They do the Fort Worth Stock Show, which was done at the beginning of February, and that's always a big deal. And we were talking about that when we were done. Like I'm probably going to try and take Miles to that next year. Just why not? Like when in Rome, do as the Romans, right? And so, but you're 100% correct. They do a good job with that, and it's awesome. Although, have you ever seen that show? Was it 1812? It's a spinoff of the Yellowstone series.
Oh yeah, I have.
And like, so one of the cool things they did in that show, and I was like, oh my God, I know that because I live here now. I'm not from Texas originally. I'm from New York originally. And so like, but I've embraced my Texan. I do like it here. I enjoy Texas as a whole. But they were showing like, they go, oh, we're going to go to Fort Worth. And they go into Fort Worth. And it's just like this dirt town. It has like one stand in it and a couple of like wooden buildings. And it was pretty wild. And then they talk about the Trinity River. I'm like, I know the Trinity River. Like, and it's cool because they're showing it to you in this very like older Wild West perspective of it, and that's cool. But you are right. While Fort Worth has built up as a city, they do still hold on to that old cowboy Western with mentality with the stockyards and the stock show there, and they do a good job with it. So again, big shout out to that. Flipping over to Miami. So we were in Miami at the end of January, and spring break is coming up. And I was telling you about that article that I was reading where Miami is basically saying that they want to break up with spring break.
Oh, yeah.
But I can see that because I think I was talking to Erlen, and I know I mentioned it to you. When we were in Miami, everybody was awesome. I think anybody who lives in Miami, like, so we'll say a Miami native, was great. I felt like most of the people who were from out of town were the ones that kind of had not the best attitudes. I don't want to say crappy because we had no drama. We had a great trip. But you could tell the difference. Like, people who were from Miami were friendly, they were welcoming, they would talk to you, except our Uber drivers. Our Uber drivers didn't say anything to us.
Ours were great, but
because
we were in different cars the whole time.
Because you probably had native Miami people is what it was, right?
No, I think every single one of them were Cuban men from Cuba.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Mercedes was from Arkansas. And it took us an hour and 20 minutes to get to the hotel. I mean, the airport at the end because she didn't know what she was doing.
But I mean, you lived there for like 20 years and 30, like Ovi, you know? Yeah.
Right. And Ovi. So we did it like a yacht. We rented a yacht for 4 hours, which was amazing, by the way. Recommended. Go ahead and do it. They take you to see all these big ass houses and all these yachts, and then you get to kind of swim in the ocean. It was awesome. It was a good time. Ovi was our boat driver, and he was good people.
He was our captain. They're called captains.
He was our captain. Yes, you're right. He was our captain. You're correct. And he was a good dude. So, but again, and then even when we did the walking tour in Little Havana, the food tour, that guy was awesome, right? And then even the people that we talked to while we were in Little Havana, they were all friendly. You know what I mean?
Oh, Miguel met was she from the Bronx or Brooklyn?
No, she was from Queens, baby. She was from Queens.
Was she Dominican or Puerto Rican?
She was Dominican.
Yeah, and he met a new friend.
She was a little young. She was a little young for me. Even I said she was.
You seem to like him, young.
Well, because let me rephrase that. Technically,
she was very cute, super cute girl.
She was very cute. She was adorable, to be clear, right? And
she was like 31 or something. It's not
that's
like
what I was gonna say. Technically, she was in my minimum age group. She was allowed to.
Your little minimum age.
This isn't. See, you keep saying mine. This isn't my rule.
It's yours because I'm not dating no 30-year-old.
I'm just saying.
30.
There is a rule out there, and you can look this up, that says
like nasty old menus.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
To figure out what your minimum age to be able to date somebody would be. And so basically what you do is you take your age, you divide it by 2, and you add 7. Right? So at 47 divided by 2 plus 7 gives me 31. So our girl, whose name I can't remember, would technically be right at the cusp of my minimum age.
Okay. But think of like a 60-year-old.
Well, no, a 60-year-old would be a lot different. I mean,
yeah,
she was still too young.
Apparently, if you do by your
37.
little...
37. 6 years is a long time. Listen, I've been on those apps.
80.
47. 47.
Yeah.
Well, stud. If you're still looking to date and get some at 80, God bless. Do what you need to do.
Don't you think they do that? There's a lot of old.
I mean, obviously they do, but I'm just saying. I'm tired at 47. I don't know what I'm going to be like at 80. I'm hoping for the best. Hoping to still be alive at 80. No guarantees.
Yeah, there are no guarantees.
So if you're at 80, you can go below 47, I say.
Now for the 80-year-olds, okay, but for you,
like you've earned it. You've earned it. You get the gold watch, man. You get the pension of vagina. But yeah, no. So the food tour was great. Although it's funny that you talk about that cute girl, because then you've titled me ever since I told you about the spank bank thing. So going back to
what I learned on this trip, I did not know that term before. I did not know this. So the whole time us girls were like, oh, spank bank. Oh, Miguel or spank bank.
Yeah. So I made the mistake of telling Missy what a spank bank is. And it's basically just like shit you're going to remember when you need to, for some self-love, we'll say. A little self-love, right? And so she kind of nailed me to the cross. Every time there was a very attractive girl, she's like, Miguel, that's spank bank. I know what you're doing, Miguel. I know what you're doing. That's spank bank. And half the time I'm like trying to eat my Cuban sandwich or something. Right. But it's funny, getting back to that. So I did tell you about that young lady yesterday running the Cowtown, and her.
Oh God.
Those shorts were the craziest shit ever.
Okay, the thing is, what you actually said was.
Well, hold on. We'll get to that point. We'll get to that.
Cringe.
We'll get to that point. So there was a young lady, and she was a very. Don't. There was a young lady, and I don't know how old she was, but she looked younger than 31, so we'll say that. And I kind of ran into her, or I caught up with her at some point in the stockyard, so around mile 7. And then finally getting out of the stockyard just before mile 8, I was kind of close enough to her. And I was really confused because she had on basically what looked like a regular gray tank top. And I mean, and what looked like cut off denim shorts, right? And I'm like, is that girl? And I'm like, maybe she's not running with us. Maybe at first I thought maybe she was like a spectator who was trying to catch up with her friend, right? Or see something. But now we're running. Like, it's a mile. I'm like, this girl's running. Now, and mind you, she's in front of me, so I didn't see if she was wearing a bib or anything. And then finally I catch up to her and she's wearing a bib. And I'm just so confused because her shorts looked like cut off denim shorts. Okay. Yeah. The shorts were really throwing me off. And so I shit you not. I mean, we're at mile 8. Now I'm tired. I mean, I didn't really get to train for this half, to be clear, because again, I had a broken foot. So I kind of did some very sketchy runs to kind of just keep the cardio going a little bit. And I'm getting tired and I'm like, are those fucking jeans that she's wearing? Is she wearing jean shorts right now? Long story short, obviously they were running shorts that were made to look like denim shorts. And I realized that because as there was a very nice breeze, which was welcome because it was warmer outside. And at one point, the shorts started flapping around like regular running shorts would flap around. And then I realized, holy shit, those are like 3D print, not 3D, but like printed denim shorts. They're not real denim. They're running shorts that look like denim. So this girl was definitely trying to look, and she was hanging out at the bar while running 13.1 miles.
Cowtown, so she's dressing country. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely was, and she wore it well. She wore it well. I will say that. So now we're getting to the end of this. It's just before mile 13, and again, I caught up to her because she got ahead of me because I was tired, and I do a run walk. I'm a run walker at this point, and I coincidentally hit a walk right next to her, right? And we are maybe a quarter of a mile away from mile 13. And so I say to her, I look at her and I'm like, I just want to let you know, it took me about 3 miles to realize that your shorts were not real denim shorts. And she didn't say, she just gave me like a smirk and a chuckle, right? She gave a smirk on her face and she kind of chuckled. And then, because I'm tired and, you know, we'll throw caution to the wind, I look at her and very seriously say, thank you for distracting me for 3 miles. And then my watch hit a run and I just road runnered that shit out of there and kept on going. Never saw her after the race, never saw her again, wasn't looking for her much to just besides what Missy may think.
I just think that's a little cringe.
Well, I'm just saying, take it as you will. I didn't mean it in a perverted like, oh, thank you for. It was a distraction because I'm in my mind. I'm bewildered. I'm like, I can't believe this person is running in denim shorts.
Okay, the thing is, and you mentioned that to her already, and then you're like, what was it again you said to her?
Thank you for distracting me for 3 miles.
That wasn't for the that wasn't.
I was being polite.
See it's like, okay, men, you can say something to a lady, but at some point you don't have to say it all.
I don't have that skill.
Well, not a lot of guys do.
It's probably my downfall. The young lady who I said that to, I meant no disrespect. I think your shorts are pretty cool. They really fucked me up for a while, but they were pretty cool. Getting back to Miami. So Miami doesn't want spring breakers actually in their town.
And well, I never did a spring break, so I don't know what I'm missing. All I seen, in my time, in our time, we watched it on MTV. Spring break. And
that shit looks pretty crazy.
I know, it looked real crazy, and you're like, oh, that's what they do. Oh my god. So, but I could imagine I wouldn't want all these kids there either.
I wouldn't either. They don't need it. I mean, it was January and they were busy as hell. They don't need all that craziness if you want the truth.
I mean, that's like for anywhere I feel like kids go to spring break. They go to South Padre, they go to Cabo or Cancun. It's just what it is.
Yeah, but South Padre needs it. South Padre is a ghost town. I went there.
Not on spring break.
Not on spring break. But see, the difference is Miami was hopping in January. Like the weekend that we were there, it was busy. There's traffic all the time.
Like, I feel like...
I mean, even when we went on the boat, there were boats everywhere with young people all over the place.
Yeah.
So I can't, I mean, they don't need all that extra craziness is really what it comes down to. Padre's a ghost town. I went there just at the end of a season one year to go fishing with my job. We did like a job fishing trip and Padre was dead. You couldn't even find a taxi. Like it was just dead, right? There was nothing going on. You stayed at the hotel and that's what it was.
But spring break, it's just, I mean, it's insane.
So basically all those restaurants that we went to in South Beach, they're all going to be closed on the weekends. Like, I think next weekend and the weekend after, they're shutting it all down. They're also going to make parking painfully expensive if you're a non-resident. I think it's like $100 a day flat fee. So it's basically don't move that car because if you go into a different lot, you're paying another $100.
Well, they're not. Mom and Dad are.
Well, that's a good point. But either way, painfully
The
expensive.
only people that you could do spring break.
It is expensive. It is. I don't know. I've never done spring break either. I had my daughter very young. I was doing stuff with my kid. So,
I guess so. Yeah.
But yeah, no. And then that's basically it. Although did I tell you I ran yesterday's race with my old Garmin because I had to send my other one in. I sent it in to be because I cracked the bezel. I did crack it, and I didn't crack the screen, so the screen survived just fine. Great. So in the story of me breaking my arm, I was actually wearing my Garmin watch that night, and the Garmin watch took the brunt of the fall on my arm, and so I did really jack up the bezel on it, but the screen held up perfectly, and there was no cracks, and I did swim with it a couple of times. So there was no water seal breaks. But here's the problem. So I tried looking on the internet to see if I can just get it, because there's screws right there. I figure I could just unscrew it and put a new bezel on myself. Nothing on the internet. You can't get it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to reach out to Garmin. So first off, shout out to Garmin. Their customer service online is on point because
and if you call them, they're amazing. They're
I actually did a chat, and it was very quick. Like I put my serial number in for my phone, my phone. I put the serial number in for my watch. My watch popped right up. Couldn't find anything through their walkthrough. I just hit custom chat with the agent, and within like 30 seconds, an agent was on the screen talking to me. But then he told me that they do not do repairs. You can't repair it. So basically, I'm swapping it out with the same model, obviously, but refurbished, I guess is how it'll be, for the lofty price of $300. So I know. I'm not rich, Missy. Stop it. I see your face. But so I ran with my old Phoenix 5, but it held up great. I love that watch. All those Garmin watches are awesome. I run with a Garmin, and we're a Garmin crew.
Yeah, I run with Garmin too. That reminds me, I'm giving my old one to my niece.
Okay.
So real quick, back to the expo at Cowtown. So me and Pam got there like 3:00 or something, and I don't remember what time they closed down. But the Luke's locker at first, all the clothes were $20. I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty great, And then like, I guess the last hour of the expo, they put everything to $10. Okay, we're talking about Nike stuff, Brooks, all brand name running gear stuff. And so I bought a pair of $110 Nike tights for $10. I got my niece a pair of Nike shorts for $10. They're originally $58. I got her a pair of Brooks shorts that were like $34 for $10. It was crazy. And that is one plus about going late to an expo. I don't know how I got on that, but I just wanted to say that because I like a deal.
That's a good pro tip, though. Show up to the expo maybe 2 hours before they close, and you'll get everything at a discount.
Yeah.
But so although I give all my Garmin stuff to Miles when I'm done with it. Like he has my old Phoenix 3, but at some point I'm going to give him my Phoenix 5.
Yeah, he already has his own Garmin, right? So
you broke up. I'm sorry.
He already has his own Garmin, though.
He's like a Garmin Bounce. That's more for me to track him than anything. It works. It's functional, and it does track him.
He doesn't do that when he's running?
He does. He did use that when he was running on the hot chocolate, but there are other runs he's done. He's used the Phoenix 3. But he does use it. That watch is, and again, shout out to Garmin. Again, so as I was saying, we're a Garmin crew. Everybody that we run with, I'm pretty sure everybody that we run with wears a Garmin. Now that I'm thinking about it. Does Sarita wear a Garmin? She's an Apple.
Yeah, she's not yet totally.
She's getting there.
Part of the crew. She will be.
We're indoctrinating her is what's happening.
We have our 4 people in
But I know that Pam wears one, I wear one, Erlen, you, Mel, Carol wears a Garmin also, I believe. So yeah, we all wear Garmins. I wear an Apple Watch in my day-to-day life. So like right now on this podcast, I am wearing an Apple Watch. But when I run, when I swim, when I go on walks, everything I record through Garmin. I like the Garmin Connect app. I'm a big fan of it, and I'm a fan of the Garmin. So shouting out to Garmin regarding my son's watch. So he wears what's called the Garmin Bounce watch, and it does track his running. It's just as precise as the regular expensive Garmin watches. But the good thing with the Garmin Bounce, from a parent to a kid standpoint, is that it does give me the opportunity. You pay $100 a year but you can send him messages. So I can text him a message. He can respond back with prefixed responses, or if he has to be more specific, he can send me a 20-second voice memo and it'll come back to me. But it's a smartwatch in the fact that I can communicate with him, and it's a smartwatch in the fact that I can track him to see where he is. But it's not a smartwatch in the fact that he can't be distracted because nobody else can message him. It was literally just me and his mom were able to message him, or anybody who I designated. So if I wanted to have like his grandmother or his sister be somebody that he can send a message to, or they can send a message to him. So I never had to worry about like his friends blowing him up or him being distracted trying to do shit on his phone in class. I mean, or his watch in class, I should say. So I do like that. It is a smartwatch. It does have safety features. It does record physical activity, which is awesome because I think, you know, I wish I had activity trackers when I was younger. Maybe I'd be more conscious of it as an older person. I don't know, man. I feel like if I had some of this stuff when I was younger, I'd be a beast.
I mean, I feel like I was so active when I was young.
I was, but we didn't have phones and video games.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Because you had to, if you were always kicked outside. You weren't allowed in unless you were cleaning or something.
Well, you know, in Miles' defense, I mean, don't get me wrong, he will play Roblox for hours on end if I let him. But he raises his hand to do a lot of stuff also, so he's pretty active. Like he wants to be constantly doing crap. So there's always that. So I am lucky in that respect that he does want to be a pretty busy kid. These next 2 weeks he won't be busy, but we're usually very busy. I mean, we have between the school activities that he does, he's in choir in school, he's in the TV station in school.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He does that. So, well, they did ORF. So in the first half, in the fall semester, they did ORF, and ORF is basically a percussion ensemble. So they did it with xylophones, and they did a great job. They did like a little xylophone performance, and it was awesome. Like I was surprised how good they were, considering how they were fifth graders. And she did these kids over the course of like 2 months. Once the spring semester switches over, they kind of shift away from ORF and they go to the choir. So he is in the choir. He's on the school TV station. He does that like once every 2 or 3 weeks. That's his crew's shift time. And he's giving me fingers. I said 3 weeks. 3. He's making sure I say 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks, his crew goes and does the TV station. And then he also does Boy Scouts. He does Taekwondo. He practices. He plays the trumpet and he does private lessons with that. So he's a busy ass kid. So he keeps me busy. So I am, and that's stuff that he wanted to do. None of this stuff has been like, hey, you should do this, right? Somebody gives him an idea. He's like, I want to go do that. So I am lucky that he's a busy kid, even in this day of cell phones and video games, but yet he still manages to do all that shit and still spend a lot of time on that game. He's got some time management skills.
Oh, that's what they'll do. Like, I don't know. Like I said, if I could do it over, I would not let my kids play as many video games as I did let them. But that's me. I'm tired taking him to shit. I don't know how he still has energy after he's all done. Well, you're responsible for that.
Yeah, I guess.
You can not do all that, but
well, I don't mind. You know, here's the thing. None of this stuff. I'd rather him not play video games than do any other stuff. But again, I'm just exhausted when he's taking him to stuff. Like I'm like, damn, he's got a busy schedule. But you know, it's funny because he's been bugging me about the fucking VR headset for like 2 years, and I keep saying no. And his mom and I kept telling him no, you can't have VR, and mainly because the manufacturers say you can't have it. He's 10 years old, and I know that the Oculus from Facebook Meta says you have to be 13 is your minimum age. And I know like Sony has a VR headset for their PlayStation and they say 12 is the minimum age. And I know Apple just put out a VR headset, which I don't know what the minimum age is, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be over 10. And he keeps bugging me about it. And it's funny though, because getting on that Apple one, so they just dropped that thing a couple of weeks ago. And I was reading, and I told you about that. I was reading an article where like 45% of people are looking to bring it back already.
Yeah. And is Miles in the room?
He can't hear you. He is though.
Okay, because I was listening to this podcast that I normally listen to, and I didn't know that one of the majority of the reasons to use that is for porn.
You want to hear an interesting story about that, by the way? Miles being in the room anyway. So porn has almost universally dictated the success of any technology since the 80s, right? And now if you understand what I'm saying, good, but if you don't, you remember the old VHS tapes, right? but they used to be Betamax VHS. You had a Betamax tape and you had a VHS tape. And the reason why VHS became the predominant format back when we were kids, when Blockbuster was popular, was because porn decided to put their more of their stuff on that format, and so people chose that. Remember, they also had Laserdisc, which were like these massive record-sized CDs, and then they brought out DVDs, right? And so DVD became a more dominant because it was convenient, but porn also said, screw it, we're not going to put our porn on Laserdisc, we're going to put it on DVD. But then we went to HD DVD and Blu-ray, right? And so in that one, it was porn and Warner Brothers, believe it or not, was the driving force to get rid of HD DVD and make Blu-ray be the predominant technology as far as delivering Blu-ray DVDs or HD DVDs. And because people, and then even the internet, I mean, let's be honest, I'm pretty sure half the internet or more searches are for porn. I mean, it's the predominant, it will determine whatever the technology is. So you're telling me that I'm not surprised. I'm not even kind of surprised.
I mean, I guess because I had no freaking clue. I mean, like I said, I've played drunken bar fight. That's just because that's what
I saw the video of that. I saw the video of that. I saw the video of you playing drunk. Yeah. And you looked pretty drunk while throwing those haymakers.
Yeah, it makes you blurred vision and all that. But anyway, that's the only thing I've ever done on VR. And but when I said, like, I did not know that. And then I guess what the girl was saying was that, like, it makes you feel like you're part of it, pretty much. Like, whatever's going on, I don't know.
I don't know how that would be.
Like you're the you know how, like, in Halo, you're the
like the third person or first person view,
person shooter. It's like that, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. They try to do that. They do that in porn also, though. I mean, they have what's called POV. So basically,
I'm not that.
Just think of it as first person shooter while watching a porn.
What is it called? I'm not very porn savvy. Just what it is.
Good for you. So, obviously, you haven't had enough cold nights.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so it has been the predominant determiner of technology and advancement and stuff like that. But yeah, so Apple has these people turning these things back in, though, because part of the thing is maybe because they can't watch porn on it yet. I guess if you could have watched porn, nobody would turn it back in.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think one of the
not much content on it.
Yeah, I think one of it was they didn't have a lot of, like, not even that kind of content, but like apps or things to do with it. And then I did read the article, and there were some people who have used other VR headsets like the Oculus, and they said, listen, I've used VR before, and I'm wearing these Apple VR headsets, and I'm getting nauseous and motion sickness and stuff like that. And so
I haven't come across that, but my boss, that happened to him.
And I had mentioned that to you, like, if I don't play first person games regularly, when I go back to play them, I do get that motion sickness, and I have to kind of ease my way into it so that I start becoming acclimated to the first person, that motion sickness kind of feel. But I eventually do, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, so it's sad though, because those fucking headsets are ridiculous. It's like $3,500 a pop. $3,500. That's so much money.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. But
I can assure you that if and when Miles gets a headset, he's getting an Oculus, because those are only like $400. Yeah, he's not getting a effing whatever they call it. What do they call it?
I don't even know.
Apple Vision. They call it Apple Vision is what they call it. Of course they would.
Remember when Google came out with those Google glasses?
Well, I saw the commercial. Did they ever actually drop those in to society?
It went out, but like it never got, because I was like, what? Like,
that's going to be a thing. I'll tell you right now, that will come back. That will come back. And it'll be huge at some point. Not right now, because the technology is still not there. But I'll tell you, I will get eyeglasses that can give me information as I'm walking. I will get that, because I'll feel like Tony Stark and Iron Man, right? Just have my own Friday. Give me information.
That'll be too distracting for me.
Speaking of glasses, so I don't normally wear glasses when I run, but yesterday was my first race that I did with my little running glasses. They worked well. I was happy. I liked them. I mean, they're different. Because I'm not, but they held up fine. They didn't like slide around my face because I get sweaty, but they held their own, and they stayed. Then it was nice to be able to see messages and stuff happening on my watch. I wasn't like killing That was my big thing. I can run And yesterday would have been a perfect example. If I'm running a race and I don't have to be in charge of directions, I just got to follow the crowd. I don't need to wear my glasses. I can see people, I can see cars and street signs and things like that. But it's when I was pacing and I had to read the directions of where we had to turn, or it's when after races when you guys are texting like we're here and there, I can't see shit. I'm just blind. Mm-hmm. So to that respect, I said I finally conceded that I'm getting older. I need to wear glasses while running, and I went ahead and got some glasses to run. But yes, big shout out to Oakley and Costco for giving me some glasses that I can run in. I'm very happy about it.
Well, Pancakes, she runs in them now too. She got her prescription glasses that she runs in. That's what she was running in on Sunday.
So it's just me and Pam. I don't think I don't think anybody else in the group runs with glasses.
I can see, baby. I can see.
Whatever. It's good to be young. It's good to be young. Having those young eyes.
Yeah, my young eyes.
But baseball's starting soon, and I was going through my credit card bills. I love baseball. I love baseball. I'm actually mad because I'm a Mets fan that lives in Texas. And this is where it's a real big kick in the dick, right? So if you're a Yankee fan that lives in Texas, you can still watch Yankee games because you can get the Yes Network. Like cable provides the Yes Network as part of their sports package, right? Mm-hmm. And the Yes Network is the Yankee television station from New York. The Yankees own it. That's where they put all their games on, and so you can watch it. But the Mets have what's called SNY or Sports New York, and they do not put it in the sports package here, so I can't watch it. So I have to get the MLB.TV app to watch my Mets games. And as a Met fan, I'm used to suffering and being a bad team every year. That's not my point. My point is, I'm like, how come they haven't charged me yet? Because I want to start watching spring training games, and they haven't done it. I'm just trying to be patient. I'm like, it'll be there eventually.
Like, what do you mean? So it's not ready yet, or what?
I guess they haven't started having the subscribers pay. So I'm still waiting for them to hit it so I can go ahead and start watching. Because I will watch baseball. I love baseball. Baseball's my shit. It was, who was I talking to? Excuse me. I was talking to Miles's trumpet teacher actually about baseball because his son actually plays baseball in college. And so he actually just left last year, I believe it was, to go to New Jersey to play baseball. And so we talk baseball all the time. And I'm like, man, I can't wait. And he's like, do you watch college sports? And here's the thing that people in the rest of the country don't realize about downstate New York. We don't watch college sports in downstate New York, right? We don't have to, because we have 1 million professional sports teams, right? If you live in the 5 boroughs of New York City or Long Island or even Connecticut, you have the New York Mets and the New York Yankees as your baseball team. For football, you have the New York Giants and the New York Jets, which technically play in New Jersey, but they're in New York. And then you have the Buffalo Bills. For hockey, you have the Islanders, the Rangers, and the Devils, right? For basketball, you have the Nets and the Knicks. Like, we have professional sports every day of the year. We don't need college sports to fill in like a team or something during the off season. We have professional sports. So downstate New York is a professional sports town, and that's how I grew up. So now when I left New York and I came to Texas, obviously like college football and high school football is a big ass deal. Now I did know about high school football because I did see that awesome show Friday Night Lights, and and it was awesome. It was like I watched the entire series when I moved to Texas, and now I wanted to be in Texas forever. And but like you guys, well, I shouldn't say you guys because you're not from Texas either. But like people down here in Texas who are from the South, they love their college sports, they love their high school sports, and so that is. It's funny though, but he's like, you watch college sports. I'm like, no, I don't watch college.
I'm not a big fan of college sports either. I don't know why. Just not.
Because you're from Cali. You're just as bad as we are. You have just as many professional sports teams there as well.
Yeah, but yeah, just not.
So, but yeah, so I don't. Do I know the college teams? I mean, I know them, but do I follow them? I do not follow. I follow baseball. I will watch baseball all season, so I can roll up my sleeves and be very excited about that because pitchers and catchers is over. Spring training games are happening. That means the Major League season is going to happen. I'm looking forward to it. My New York Mets are actually coming to North Texas this year to play the Rangers, so I will definitely be there to watch a game. And yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited about baseball.
Good.
So
very good.
Now I'm just biding my time, waiting to get to that point.
What do we got next?
I have nothing next. I shouldn't say that. You have something. you have something definitely planned.
Well,
What do you have next?
yeah, so I have the Fargo half marathon because I'm trying to work on a half marathon in all 50 states. And I'm trying to get my niece to do that with me, which she should be able to. She's went to state and cross country, so I'm like, you can do this, you got this. So that'll be really fun if she does it with me. That's June 2nd. And then after that is Marine Corps Marathon. I'm doing that again in October because my son is going to run it as well. So we're going to run it together. Well, not together, but we're running the race together. Yeah.
Now, is that his first full?
It'll be his first full. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him. Yeah. He's going to do good. But it's always fun when it's always cool when it's their first. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know who loves that? Lisa. If she knows that someone is doing their first marathon.
Oh, Lisa. Oh, yeah.
Lisa, yeah. She, oh my God, she will become even more so. She's already the world's biggest cheerleader, but she will definitely, it'll go tenfold. And because I've run Dallas with Lisa a bunch of times. And you can appreciate this. When you're running a race, at some point you eventually lock in with a group of people. You just kind of leapfrog them, they leapfrog you, and you guys just kind of stay together for several miles at a time. And inevitably, while running a race with Lisa, because she talks to everybody on the course, she will find out that someone's doing their first marathon and they are on the struggle bus, right? They're just hurting. They're in that deep mile 20 to 24 kind of area where you're just questioning your life choices. And she finds out that this is their first marathon. She's like, no, we're going to get this done. And her spirit will drag them through the last 4 to 6 miles of their race. Right. And she loves that shit. She will, and she finds them every race. She'll find somebody who's their first marathon. Now she does it.
She's pretty great about that stuff.
Yeah. So that's one of those fun. She's in Tokyo. Well, she's heading to Tokyo right now.
I know. It's been
4 years. 4 years.
Finally doing Tokyo and after her injury, and she's doing great. And I'm super excited for her and Sheldon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they actually qualified for Tokyo, and they were supposed to do it during the pandemic year. The year after the pandemic, because they got Tokyo off and then the pandemic happened. But they're finally getting to do it. And she did get injured during the interim, so she had to kind of rehab and come back from that. And she fought the good fight on that. I mean, that definitely took a lot out of her. So I'm glad that she's done what she had to do. And I wish her and Sheldon's her husband, so I wish them a good luck and a big shout out to them in Tokyo and doing Japan this next Sunday coming up. So this is their race week. So that's exciting. And
it'll be this coming Sunday.
It's this coming Sunday. So
wow, okay, yeah, we'll have to.
So we'll pay attention to it. Yeah. And that's the cool thing. Again, I know we kid around and we say we're non-elite runners and we're not very fast, but somehow we managed to have, our circle of friends have done it all. Like we've done Berlin, we've done Tokyo, we've done Boston, we've done Chicago, we've done New York, and everything in between. We've done local races, weird races. I mean, last year we did the Little Rock half marathon.
That was fun.
And that was a fun race too. That was a fun race.
Beautiful weather.
Great weather, very well run. Little Rock as a town, not much happening, right? But the people were super friendly. The race people were amazing. It was a very well organized race. And if you haven't looked up the Little Rock marathon or half marathon, do so, because their medals are ridiculous. They are like, if you did the marathon for Little Rock, it's like a dinner plate. The medal is just this massive, ridiculous medal. So
so we did the half.
We did the half.
This was the one. They have a theme every year. So this is pretty big. It's like
it's bigger. It's just as big as her hand. Like the medal is spread.
It's heavy.
Yeah. It's like take your hand and spread your fingers out, and that's how big the half marathon medal is.
And the marathon is double that.
Yeah, like a dinner plate.
And that would be cool, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, well, maybe.
No,
but here's the thing though. That race, not that you want to be out there for a long time. They're a very runner friendly race because they give you an 8-hour time limit.
That is right, because if you're like in that super slow group, they will let you start an hour ahead of time, which is real cool.
Yes.
Oh, I'm just gonna click to see what time it is in Tokyo when it's 7 a.m. I'm gonna assume they're gonna start around 7 a.m. It's 4 p.m. our time, so that's good for us.
Yeah, we'll be awake.
Yeah.
That is good. That's good to
Okay,
know.
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep track of that.
Yeah.
But getting back to Little Rock, that was a fun one. But again, it's not a very like super well known race. But
I don't know. I think it probably is because of
that metal.
how they do that. I mean, they have a whole, the city does a whole unveiling of the
They get
medal.
behind it. They get behind it. And even that race. Now again, we only ran the half, and I don't want to say
Yeah.
only because it's still a half marathon. But again, decent spectator support during the course of that race. So that was fun. To have that. And
Great local beer on that route.
that's true.
I
Actually,
found a beer that
I
I
did have a
like.
cup. I did have a cup.
Yeah.
So that was a fun race though. I felt real good about it. When I ran it, I thought the course was okay. It wasn't overly challenging. And again, very
silly, but
I felt good. I just felt good.
Overly challenging.
Yeah, I felt good about that whole Fort Worth is a hilly. That Cowtown is a hilly race.
I think Little Rock is more than that.
Did you really?
Yeah, because it is more of these things. Remember, like once we get like halfway down into the neighborhoods, then it's like.
I guess maybe because I've run Cowtown so many times, it's just ingrained in my head.
Yeah, so Cowtown doesn't bother me now that.
No, it doesn't. But I feel like there are a lot of hills in Cowtown though. But yeah, so Little Rock is it was a good race. Again, good spectator support, very well run. Their post race was decent also.
Oh, their post race. That is what nobody told us. That was really cool because you go in and for the ladies, they give you new lipstick before you get to the finish line so you can put stuff on your lips. And then you go into the shoot and when you're done, and then they have photographers right there to take your picture. And then you go through this long line. They give you pasta to eat. They give you like everything. And it was so good. And then you get to be inside. Yes. And then they have these Jumbotron things so you can watch the finishers come through. So it's a very good post race thing.
So you basically finish inside of like the host hotel has like a convention center.
I think.
Yeah. And so when you're done, you walk into the convention center once you're done with the finish line. And that's where and so you get to sit down at tables, eat your food, recollect your thoughts.
Start and finish.
Yes.
Next, we just need to stay there.
Yes, because that hotel looked nice. And also your family can meet you there. They're allowed to meet you in that convention center. So you're not wandering around outside like a homeless person, wondering where your people are. They're just waiting inside there. So it was very well done, very well organized. I had a great time with that one. We did BCS in December. That was my first race last year after Little Rock because I had surgery on my back. And so I didn't run most of the year. But that one was okay. Like it's
a very local race.
It is very
local. It's a small race.
So BCS is Bryant College Station here in Texas, where Texas A&M is.
The thing that killed it for me was the weather. It was so cold. It was colder. Because the day before it was like 80 to some degrees.
It was very warm.
That day we ran, it was like 40.
It did dip. But I didn't mind it because all my races have been so damn hot, so I was happy about the colder weather. I think the best. I will tell you, I didn't hate BCS. I'm going to say that right now.
I didn't hate it. I just want to do it again.
Love it. I didn't love it. The only thing I did love about BCS is that the finish line is on a downhill.
Yeah, that was nice.
Like I was hauling ass coming into that finish line.
Because we do so many finish lines where it's like and so that was a nice and. The finisher jacket that we got, which was perfect on that day because it was freezing.
It was.
And windy. And so it was perfect. That was perfect. And if I wanted to, like they had pizza and like breakfast burritos and stuff, but I didn't really partake for whatever reason because I think it was just so damn cold.
It was.
And for the beer lovers, you have a choice. And they do, what is that thing? Those kegs? Is it a keg or like a... They pour the beer right from this thing, and you can choose whatever beer you want. Yeah, Serena would have liked that.
It was a well done race. I just didn't love it, and for whatever reason it may have been, I just didn't love it. It was okay, but of course I didn't hate it. Like you said, I probably wouldn't do it again.
No, I wouldn't just because I've never been to such a non-diverse place in a long time.
It was very white. I like the way you put that, but it's in College Station. It's home of Texas A&M, and there's just like a lot of college kids there, and so.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like it was just different.
Yeah, but that restaurant that we had dinner at was okay.
The restaurant was good. But I do, you know what? I guess I thought I would like running through the campus more. The campus really didn't do it for me. It was just like
No, I didn't either. I thought it was, well, first I thought it was empty. There was no spectators
it
there.
was empty,
It
yeah.
was empty.
There was no games obviously that day, which they wouldn't have
Yeah.
been able to do that run if there was
And
a game.
I was in December, so were the kids already out for like winter break? I don't know. It was pretty empty. There was nobody there.
Possibly.
But you know, it was. I don't blame the race organizers. It definitely is a very local race. I mean, I think they had like 4,000 runners total, which is not bad. It's not a bad turnout. But I mean, we've run a lot bigger, so I guess maybe that's why. But I didn't hate it. I just didn't hate it, but I wouldn't run it again probably. I mean, if the group was going to run it, I'd probably go. But yeah. So that was, but yeah. So I don't have any race. So you have Fargo, and then you have Marine Corps.
Oh, the medals came out for Fargo. Not a fan. Kind of a bummer.
No good.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Kind of is.
I have no races lined up, but I am. So the New York City Marathon opens up their lottery registration this week. I believe they open it up on Thursday or Wednesday. So I will throw my name in the hat, but I have no hopes of getting in because I've never got in on the lottery. But
well, that means he's getting in, people. And I will be in New York, and I'm super excited because Pam will be running it, Carol will be running it, Mel, Kelly. Those are the people I know, and probably
Brenda.
Oh, Brenda's running it too. Okay, and yes. Brenda, and I will be there to spectate. I'm so excited to do that. I'm so excited to do that because I don't have to run it.
We'll see. We'll see about my potential participation, but I am going to put my name in the lottery hat, and if I get in, then I'll be running that. If I do not get in, there's an outside chance, and I'll see how I feel about it, but I will enter the Dallas Half Marathon because last year for the first time they did it where they called it a walking half. So Dallas is trying to be more, I guess, walker runner friendly in their half marathon distance. So I think they're giving you like a 4.5 hour time limit or something like that, or 5 hours. But I may have Miles train with me over the summer to do a half marathon, and I'll run that with him for his first half marathon. Yeah. But again, we'll see how that shakes down. But I have no other races besides that.
Yeah, if I don't have a race in December, which I'm fine with, I'll probably do the half because I like the BMW half. I don't like the BMW marathon, but I like the BMW half.
Yeah, they have more spectators on the half. Because the problem with the marathon is you get onto White Rock, and not that White Rock is a bad location to run in. It's just nobody there.
I hate that. I hate that's what.
And it's such a large portion of the race.
Yeah, 9 point.
Well, it's probably like 7 miles of the race is on White Rock.
No, it's
because you don't do a full loop.
I know, but you start on the outside. And you remember you go up on Northwest Highway too, so you go around there and then come back on the lake. So it's pretty dang close to 9 miles. And the thing is, if I was brand new to a city and coming to do this marathon, that would scare the crap out of me because it's like you're running by yourself. No one's out there. Like somebody could grab you. I don't know. I don't like that. That was the worst part of the marathon to me. One and done for Dallas Marathon.
That goes back to, I think that the Dallas Marathon people have to do a better job at promoting that race. Just again, get people out there. It means the world. It means the world to runners.
You could have throw a White Rock party, like White Rock, during the marathon, and have like what is it, like White Rock? There's a
running
community.
Cooperative.
Yeah, and all these people out there just to have a freaking party to cheer on these runners during.
Well, there's so many people that. Well, DRC has a water stop on White Rock, usually around mile 16 or 17.
Yeah. Right.
And so, but like Luke's Locker should be out there, Run On should be out there, the White Rock Running Cooperative should be out there. All those the Play Try should be out there. So that was the thing in 2017 I was talking to you about earlier when they changed the course where they put White Rock back on the race course.
Mm-hmm.
That year. Camp Gladiator was out there in force. I mean, they were out there like every mile, and it was awesome. Mm-hmm. They were just hyped up. I remember seeing one of them just before the spillway, and I was like, "Oh my god, thank you guys so much." I mean, they were just great. They had such great energy. But that year, the organizers had put it out there on the news, and so there were so many people out there. Even on the lake, there were so many people out there. I think over the years they've just stopped doing that.
Even like run a contest, like. I don't know, like the most decorative display or just something to get people out there, because that is the worst part to me of of the Dallas Marathon.
When you have 8 to 9 miles of a lot of quiet, it's rough.
Hard.
It makes it rough.
And sometimes because if you're not with the faster group, I've seen so many people out there by themselves.
Yeah. You wouldn't even tell that they were running a race if you didn't see their bib.
Yeah. So
that was one of the drawbacks. But other than that, I have no races though. I mean, we'll see what happens at New York. I mean, I'm going to do some traveling. I'm going to San Francisco here in a week and a half.
Yeah. Oh, a week and a half.
Not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. My first time in San Francisco. What's that?
How many days are you staying there?
4. I'm going in on Sunday morning. I'll be back Wednesday night. So, and I'll do we're going to go up to Muir Woods, which is like one of the last coastal redwood forests on the planet. We're going to go see that. We'll go to Alcatraz. We're going to go see the Golden Gate Bridge. We're going to go do a bus tour around the city. I think we're going to have lunch in Sausalito one day. And so that'll be fun. Yeah. I've never been, so we'll see how it works.
More likely it's going to be cold.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that. I'm looking forward to it.
I hate the cold. What was I gonna say though? But when are you gonna decide if you're gonna try for Marine Corps or not? Or not try, well, you can just get in.
I just get in.
Are you gonna do it or no? You gonna think about it more?
I'm 60-40 if I don't get into New York.
Yeah, but when do you find out you get into New York?
March. They do the lottery opens, the registration for the lottery opens up this week, but I believe the actual lottery day is like March 21st.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you won't have a problem getting into.
Yeah, and I think Marine Corps opens up after that on purpose.
Marine Corps opens up March 1st.
Does it open up March 1st?
Yeah, I have it on my thing. I'm pretty sure it does.
We'll see. But they never sell out that quickly.
Not that quickly. And plus I'm curious how it's going to be since next year, 2025 is going to be the 50th.
The 50th. So you may get less people coming this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Because that's why Erlen's not going to do it because she wants to do the 50th. Oh, maybe you can do the 50th with Erlen for Marine Corps.
Maybe. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm 60-40. I got to see what funds are. I know it sounds weird, but going to New York is going to cost me less money than going to Marine Corps.
No, because you can stay with me and my son. My son has room.
Oh.
I'm not staying at a hotel when I do that.
We'll see how your son feels about that.
He doesn't care.
But because that's the thing with New York. So I'm from New York. I have plenty of people. It's cool for you. Your son lives in the DC area, so it works. And I guess if that was the case, it would work for me as well. But New York doesn't cost me as much money because I have people I can stay with, so that's always nice.
Yeah. Would you stay the night before the race in the city? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it's too much of a commute. All my friends. What's that?
That's going to cost you $500 in that one night.
Man, I think it cost me like $600 a night. Because last time but Missy and I both ran New York City back in 2022. Mm-hmm. And I went in with family. I stayed with family Friday night. I went into Manhattan on Saturday. I did stay in Manhattan Saturday and Sunday, but then I stayed with family after that. So those 2 nights cost me like $1,100 or $1,200 or something like that. So it was expensive.
No.
But outside of that, that was my main expense. Like the airfare was the airfare. It is what it is.
Yeah, the airfare wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, but the hotels can get very pricey. Especially, they know. I mean, you have 55,000 runners running New York City. Yeah, and here's the thing. I say there's a problem, but most of my friends have grown up and are no longer living in the 5 boroughs. They live in Long Island. So it's like, it's a trek for me to take the Long Island Railroad into Manhattan to get on those buses or the ferry to Staten Island to start the race. It's just too much. I mean, and then you got to wait. I would be exhausted. I have to be up and leave at like 3:30 in the morning. Yeah. So no, I'll definitely. You already
have to get up and leave at 5 a.m. pretty much, 5:30 or 5 a.m.
Yeah, I had to. Well, I mean, I had to get on the bus at like 6:30.
Yeah.
When I was there, so yeah, I was already up at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Had to use the bathroom.
Well, I was up because I think I caught the subway at like 5:30 or something.
Yeah. So, but
now I know I probably don't need to be there that early.
Yeah, the one again, pro tip: anybody running in New York, even though they tell you to be there at 6:30, you can get there at 7. Because I got there, I was supposed to be there at 6:30, but I got there at like 6:10 maybe.
Well, you got to the village
No, so you took the ferry in. I took the bus in. Only because I heard when you take the ferry, you have to get off the ferry and then take another bus to the village. And I was like, I just want to sit. Like, I don't want to add stuff to my plate mentally, and that's just my own mental game. So I was like, I'm going to take the bus in because if you pick up the bus at the Midtown Library in Manhattan, and the bus just takes you straight to the Runner Village. You get on the bus, you sit in the seat, and it takes you right to the security line, the Runner Village. It's easy peasy, no having to worry about getting on another bus or waiting on another line. And when you sign up, they tell you what time to get there to get on the bus or get to the ferry. But nobody checked shit. I didn't have to be there till 6:30, and I got there at 6:10, and I immediately just got on the conveyor belt. And that's another thing. You get very overwhelmed. I remember I got there and I like turned the corner, and there were literally thousands of people waiting to get on this bus, right? And I was like, holy shit, like there's a lot of people here. But they had all the partitions and set up, and they're like, just get on this line. And honestly, I don't recall stopping. Like, not if I did, it was very brief, right? The entire time you were just walking, because they had. I was also wondering, like, am I going to know where to go? But there was literally a line of charter buses in Manhattan, 2 rows for blocks, blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. My hotel was probably like 5 blocks from where the library was. And there were buses past my hotel block going on for as far as I can see at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so, yeah, I mean, since I wasn't starting until 10.
It's a well-oiled machine, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a logistical nightmare if they have down to a science. So you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, no, I don't have too much going. I mean, I guess once I'm done with San Francisco, I'll start. I know it sounds weird, but the year is wrapping up quick already. I mean, it's already into February.
Be March by the end of this week.
Know.
Right?
Somebody's birthday month is in March.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Fortunately, I don't think that person will get to celebrate her birthday.
What do you mean? We're going to celebrate your birthday. Celebrate your birthday. I thought we were doing it this weekend, but I guess you said other people couldn't make it.
No, this weekend isn't my birthday.
I know this weekend's not your birthday, but it's the beginning of March. It's the 2nd. I'm not going to be here the weekend of the 10th.
I know. And then I have other people not going to be here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, anyway, I'm not worried about it for a while. But anyway, yeah, I think March is on Friday. Is March on Friday? That's what I went to go look at.
Yes, March 1st is on Friday.
Jeez Louise, that's craziness.
I know, but like, and so from a parent standpoint, I got to start. Miles is I got to figure out like getting Miles signed into middle school. They haven't opened that yet though. But
yeah, like you got.
Not that much. I haven't. I think they're opening it in April, and I mean, as fast as the first 2 months went by,
dude, that'll be here. Think about none of that until like the last month of school,
and then also, summertime's coming up, so I got to figure out now. I know Miles is going to New York for about 3.5 weeks, so But the main problem is I gotta get clothes for this fucking kid. He's been outgrowing his clothes since September.
Don't get him now. You have to wait till it's
I know. But here's the problem. It was 90 degrees today. Kid was wearing 1980 gym shorts, it looked like, because he outgrew his shorts.
That's okay, though. Because in Wednesday, it's going to be 40.
I know. This damn Texas.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Although it's supposed to get warm again this weekend. And the weekend's supposed to be in the mid-70s again. So.
Okay, but yeah, I'm just tired of the 40-degree drops. Ugh.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen too much. I think we're starting to get into that regular, warmer spring weather. So, but, what with that, I mean, I guess we're getting close to wrapping up. Our first episode. This is actually, here's the other thing. This is our first episode, so we appreciate you guys listening to us ramble on about some stuff, and we're looking forward to doing it again next week. Like I said earlier in the episode, if you guys have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. But also, if you want to send us something with a little more detail, we want to hear your stories as well. Send us your race stories. Send us your race ideas. Send us your race experiences. Send us anything.
I mean, good races coming up that you know of that you think we should try, because we're always looking for new races.
Yeah, something local, because now we're starting. Yeah. Also, we're getting to the point where we're starting to look out of the country, and that's getting kind of steep. So if you have local American races, please. My wallet would appreciate it.
Bali 2025 coming up.
Oh my God. Yeah, Bali 2025. That's what we're looking at right now. August of 2025. But, and it's just not just running. I don't want this to be considered just a running podcast. I mean, running is what we do, and we have a lot of running friends, and you will get to meet some of these friends. We're going to have guests on at some point as well, but we're not opposed to having some of you on to share a story about why you did it. I know we talked about a lot of halves, but we've both done several. I've done 8 full marathons. Missy, you've done
6.
So, and that's a whole different, anybody who runs marathons, and like Missy said earlier, it's a different experience. And we will touch on that and talk about that. And I always love to know why people decided to run a marathon. And I know people like to say it's because they wanted to get into shape, to which I say that's BS. There are a lot easier ways to get into shape. So there's some reason. And I know I had one. I have a reason. It wasn't because I wanted to get into shape, although being healthy was a reason. But there's always a reason.
That next week.
We will. So,
yeah.
And we want to hear that. We want to hear about your stories about that, not just ours. And you are going to meet some of our cast of characters along the way, and why we have grown to love them, and they're near and dear to our hearts. Mm-hmm. And again, man, we got kids stories and stupid stories, and St. Patty's Day. St. Patty's is coming up. I have some St. Patty's stories.
I'm not a big St. Patty person.
You know what? I'm not a big drinker, and even I have a couple of St. Patty's stories.
Okay.
But yeah, so we look forward to it. Don't be shy. Leave comments. Don't be mean, right? But we want to hear. We want to hear anything. I mean, we'll talk about anything. Give us an idea. Give us something, and we'll run with it. We're not. If you run, we like to talk. So bring it on, man. Bring it on. But with that, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to our actual first episode. More to come. Missy, you want to say anything on the way out?
Look forward to seeing you all next week.
All right, kids. Well, with that, Miguel and Missy out. We'll see you next week.
Bye.